Tonight, we take a closer look at the balance of power in our nation's capital. 35 Senate seats will be up for grabs next Tuesday night, 23 held by Republicans, 12 by Democrats. What happens next Tuesday could impact the future of the Senate. It is the #1 subplot of election night besides the main event. NewsNation correspondent Joe Khalil live for us in D.C. tonight with details on some of the key races that could tip the balance and switch the Senate from red back to blue. Joe.
Yeah, Robin, control of the Senate is incredibly important. We saw that this week, just how important that can be. As you mentioned, Republicans have about double the races to defend that Democrats have, and a lot of those Republican races are really tight. So it may just be a numbers game, but Democrats feel really good about their chances because of that. And privately, we've spoken to a number of Republicans who are legitimately nervous about this race coming up. In 2021, the U.S. Senate could look much different. 12 Democrats and 23 Republicans are defending their seats.
But this time you have Republicans that are on defense.
Jessica Taylor with the Cook Political Report says across the map, 12 Republican races will be competitive. She says Martha McSally's race in Arizona and Cory Gardner's in Colorado may be especially tough.
They're facing a very different sort of political headwinds, really, not tailwinds. And I think coronavirus has certainly exacerbated that.
Taylor says some voters may hold the White House and by proxy Senate Republicans accountable for what they view as shortfalls in a COVID response. And Taylor says money talks.
Growing numbers of Democratic challengers outraising Republican incumbents since the beginning of the cycle, really.
Republican Senator Mike Braun of Indiana says he thinks recent events could turn the momentum his party's way, namely confirming a new conservative Supreme Court justice.
In any of the states that would be red in nature that we're defending a seat, I think it's going to help us. I think this is a big accomplishment.
Despite what pundits say, Braun says recent history might suggest stronger than expected Republican turnout.
2 years ago, this happened when I was running, and Kavanaugh made it across the finish line. But I think it does galvanize your base in those states to get out and vote.
But Democrat Ben Cardin says his party is more mobilized this year.
We're certainly working hard to get the majority.
He says he believes the Supreme Court nomination battle has galvanized Democrat voters.
I think the American public now understand how important it is, not only to elect Joe Biden president, but to have the Senate under Democratic control.
And we should mention, while there are a number of Republican seats that are going to be tough to defend, Republicans do feel good about Alabama. Democrat Senator Doug Jones is going to have a tough time. Republicans think keeping that seat. They think that's one where they can flip it blue. For a second, I want to focus on fundraising because it's, aside from the polls, one way to measure enthusiasm in a campaign, guys. And this year, a number of Democrat challengers have raised record numbers. The previous record for one quarter was $38 million. Beto O'Rourke did that. This year, 3 Democrat challengers have already topped that, and the largest one being Jamie Harrison, who's challenging Lindsey Graham. He has raised $57 million in this quarter alone. A number of Democrats raising really impressive numbers. It's been unheard of how much has been raised this cycle, guys. Just an indication of where the enthusiasm may be and a reason for concern among some Republicans. Reporting live tonight in Washington, D.C., Joe Khalil, NewsNation.